Okay, I'd like to introduce this panel. It's the panel on Myths from the Modern Age, which is a book that we contributed to. It came out with last year, published by Monkey Brain Books. And this is the third Wold Newton panel we've had at the conference. We're doing something a little bit different this year that you'll see in a moment, but right now I'm going to just quickly introduce the presenters. We have Eckert. He's the editor of the book, and he runs the website, the Wold Newton University Expanded. Brad Mendel, who is in from Australia. Chuck Lordens, John Small, and myself. And you'll see what we each do when we each do presentation in terms of the articles. Okay, I think I'll turn it over to Lynn.
All right. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the Wold Newton concept, I'm just going to give a brief overview of that, and then I'll turn it over to Brad and Chuck and John to give their portions of the presentation, and then I'll step back in and give my section. But basically, if you're not familiar with it, the concept was created by noted science fiction writer Philip Jose Farmer, who had this penchant for writing fictional biographies or fake biographies. So we call him our biographer. We treat this as real, just as the Sherlockians and Holmesians do with Sherlock Holmes. They treat the characters as real people. So we step into that, sort of go into that metafictional concept. These are real people. They really lived. And we treat the writings of Doyle or Edgar Rice Burroughs and so forth as slightly fictionalized concepts of the real stories. So we're digging into the real stories of these people's lives. Again, Phil Farmer, 3-time winner of the Hugo Award, Nebula Award, World Fantasy Award. You may have heard of the River World series that he's probably most famed for, and then his Wold Newton family series. So basically the Wold Newton family started when a meteor landed in Wold Newton, England in 1795. That is a real historical event, and that's a picture of the real meteor and a monument there. And what happened was that the radiation that was present due to the ionization affected some of the people who were passing by in some coaches at the time. And so we had John Clayton and his wife, Sir Percy Blakeney. We had Darcy and Lizzie Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, and some ancestors of Sherlock Holmes, Bulldog Drummond, and some other famous characters. So the concept here is that the ionization of the radiation affected these people. The women were pregnant, and then these families sort of intermarried through the centuries and created these iconic characters, these iconic heroes that we know as Tarzan and Sherlock Holmes. Of course, Blakeney himself was the Scarlet Pimpernel, so he started the heroic endeavors right at that time. And then we had the descendants of the meteor strike that we know today. So Captain Nemo, the time traveler, Tarzan, and Bulldog Drummond, Fu Manchu, because there were some evil folks that came out of this as well, bent on world domination. Professor Moriarty, Blofeld, and then back on the heroic side we have Doc Savage, Nero Wolfe, James Bond, of course, like hard-boiled detectives. Sam Spade is a member of the family. And what we've done is we've expanded on Philip Jose Farmer's original concept. So we got permission from Farmer to write articles expanding on his family and creating even further links. And we published it in the book, like he said, called Myths from the Modern Age. You can see the cover art here by Hugo Award nominated artist John Cascio. He's also here at the con, so stop by the artist alley and check him out. So you can see here on the cover we have Fu Manchu, Tarzan, we have Modesty Blaze, Sherlock Holmes in the shadow, and then we have the meteor in the background. These are just book covers of various editions of Farmer's biographies. The first biography that he wrote was Tarzan Alive, and it really started this Wold Newton family concept with genealogical pages and treatises in the back. And then he continued it in his second biography, Doc Savage, his apocalyptic life. He also wrote straight fiction about Wold type stories. So he wrote The Adventure of the Peerless Peer, which is a Tarzan and Sherlock Holmes crossover during World War I. And he also got into sort of the secret history behind well-known novels. So The Other Log of Phileas Fogg takes place contemporaneously with Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days, but it's the secret history behind why Phileas Fogg really made his journey around the world. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chuck Loriden.